Can I just talk about the spiral staircase for a few minutes and not go on camera this time? I promise I will go on camera again, but I've had my endocrine therapy today and I just don't feel like it. I look the same, but I feel like crap. And this movie is just racing through my mind. There's so much that I want to tell you about it. It has a film within a film. It has a strong female cast. And it is a period piece from the past, which means the people of 1946 were looking back on 1906, which interests me for some reason, thinking about how they would have viewed their own past, which seems so far away to me. I mean, 1906 seems almost as far away as 1946. It's like watching a movie now that was set in the 80s, and you wonder what they would have picked out as wrong. Well, the first thing they would have picked out was that the main character, played by Dorothy McGuire, goes to see a movie, and it's 1906, but this movie didn't come out till 1912. So that's an interesting anachronism. But let's get started with the film within the film. It's called The Sands of Dee, which was a D.W. Griffith short drama that was based on a poem from, I believe it was 1850, of the same name. You don't see the whole movie within the spiral staircase. You just see Dorothy McGuire's character go to the movies, and it's a silent film. And I did not really read the description. I saw on YouTube a movie about a movie set in the 40s, made in the 40s. I'll get it together. Made in the 40s. It's a scary movie. I was like, oh, I want to see some shadows. I want to get scared. And I did get scared, but I'll get into that. And I didn't read enough about the description to know that Dorothy McGuire's character does not speak. She is mute because of some trauma in her past. And so I always want to find more meaning in things than there is. And I was looking for how the silent film fit into the story of the spiral staircase. And it's a story about a woman who is engaged to one man. The Sands of Dee, that is a short story from the poem about a woman that's engaged to one man and then is tempted by another flashier, rich artist who pretends that he wants to marry her, but then throws her over, as they would have said, for his rich original girlfriend. And so her father throws her out of the house for having dumped her first boyfriend, and then she's found floating in the sea. And that doesn't really have anything to do with the spiral staircase, except that here's a silent woman watching a silent film. And I think that was meant to be the extent of it. While she's watching the film, a girl goes upstairs, and I think it's a hotel or a boarding house that they're in, and is murdered by a man who was hiding in her closet. And it comes out, this is a serial killer of women who have disabilities. The woman that was going up the stairs during the silent film, she had a limp. I didn't notice because I was looking at this glorious Edwardian poof hairstyle that she had, and I didn't even notice her limp. But I'm not always the most observant person, for all that I'm trying to find meaning in things, and maybe that's why I do that. Maybe that's why I look too deeply. I don't know. So I said that this movie has a fabulous female cast. It is led by Ethel Barrymore, who won an Oscar for this film. She plays the matriarch of the family in the old dark house where Dorothy McGuire works as she's not a maid. She's an assistant to Ethel Barrymore's character, who doesn't like her nurse. And so also in the house, there's a housekeeper played by Elsa Lanchester, and she is just a hoot. And she plays most of her scenes pretending to be schnockered, stealing the rich family's brandy. And then there's Dorothy McGuire, who just this performance, I cannot say enough about it. She doesn't speak for most of the film, and people have conversations with her as if she was speaking, and they have all the dialogue, all the exposition, but her face and her gestures, it's very much a two-way dialogue, and she's able to make herself understood. And so, what did I say that I was going to talk about? How, well, I already covered. It's a period piece from the past. There's a film within the film, and there's a strong female cast. Did I say Ethel Barrymore plays most of her scenes laying in the bed, which appeals to me because I do most of these videos, audios, whatever, laying in the bed or laying on the couch and talking like I'm talking on the phone, but I'm certainly not comparing myself to Ethel Barrymore's acting. She's just a powerhouse. It's just a magnificent performance done mostly laying in the bed, and she's rules this house with an iron fist, and she never lets them forget how strong she is. And you don't even know if she can get up out of the bed, but when she needs to, she does. And it's just a cataclysmic ending to this film, maybe you would say. And I'm trying not to spoil it, but I want to say people were dealing with, in 1946, maybe the aftermath of World War II and what Hitler had done, doing away with disabled people in Nazi Germany. And I feel like there may have been a little reaction to that in this film. The way that Dorothy McGuire's character is shown as such a well-rounded person. Despite her disability, she has a whole life. She has a love interest. She plays. She has friends. She has interests. Of course, we all know this. But there are people who think that if you are not perfect, and no one is, but some people have more of different abilities in life, there are actually people walking the earth who think that that person's life isn't worth anything. And that's why, in the end, the killer is taking these people out. And that's what was done in Nazi Germany. And maybe this film was a reaction to that terrible realization, even though it's set around the period of World War I, maybe a few years before World War I. Sorry if I'm getting my dates wrong. I don't know. Anyone tell me if you've seen The Spiral Staircase, if you've seen the D.W. Griffith short that's featured in the film, because I couldn't find it. My fascination with characters going to the movies goes back to the review that I did on the film One Foot in Heaven, which was a 40s movie that was set during roughly the time period that the Spiral Staircase is set. And I'll link to that in the description if you haven't seen that one. That's one of my favorite talks that I've given. And I know I had some requests from all of you to do B-roll or maybe put in film clips, which I don't intend to do, but maybe maybe the more interesting thing that you wanted to see wasn't my face, but the videos with my face haven't done poorly, and I will go back to that. But as I said today, I'm not feeling all that well. I think that's about it. Let me know if you've seen The Spiral Staircase, if you're a fan of any of these ladies that were in the film, and if you have a preference for the audio or the talking head videos that I've done, you can let me know in the comments, and I will talk to you soon. And stay out of your boss's brandy if you know what's good for you. Have a good night.